All right, so first thing we're gonna take a look at are the results, so that way you can know that this checklist that you're about to get access to can actually help you rank your videos. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on the computer. All right, so right now we're using the incognito browser, so that way when I show you these rankings for these keywords, it's gonna be accurate data and not skewed data because I'm logged into my account. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna copy the first keyword. It is how to find hashtags for YouTube videos. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paste that in there like this, and as you can see, it's auto-populating, right? So I'm gonna click on this, and then as you can see, here's my video number 1 with 7,000 views from 1 year ago, right? Now, if we go over here to Descript voice cloning versus 11 labs voice cloning, you can see if I paste this in here like this and I hit enter, you can see my video is ranking number 1, 1,000 views from 4 months ago. And then if we come over here to the next one, Logitech StreamCam versus Brio 4K, if we go ahead and we paste that one in, right, as you can see, it's auto-populating. And then if we come down, boom, here's my video ranking number 1 for that. Now, if we come down here to the next one, Logitech C920 versus C922 Pro, if we paste this one in here and then we hit, let's go ahead and go like that, you can see auto-populating. So if I come here, boom, here's my other video, 16,000 views from just about a year ago. And then if we come down here to this next one, how to add social media links to YouTube channel, let's see if I'm actually ranking number 1 for this or maybe number 2. All right, so you can see right here, this video from 1 year ago has 36,000 views, and you can see the top video has 12,000 views from pretty much the same time frame, right? So you can see that what I'm gonna be sharing with you in this video, when I show you this checklist, you definitely wanna make sure that you're paying attention so you can actually start to rank your YouTube videos, because this is what's going to actually start to drive you to views. And if you have a business, you'll start to actually get traffic to your websites and actually even generating more sales. All right, so what you're looking at right now is the checklist. And if you want to get access to it so you can actually go throughout this process with me, go ahead and click the first link down below in the description. And then once it pops up, go ahead and put your email in and I'll send this directly over to you. All right, so let's get started. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to look up here to where it says video URL. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to put your video link here. Secondly, you're going to put the keyword that you want to rank for. Okay, so once you do that, now we get to the process of going through the keyword placement, voice optimization, and video embedding. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to take one of the videos that I just showed you from some of the results, and we're going to go throughout the process that way. All right, so let me open up the first one, which was how to find hashtags for YouTube videos. So as you can see right here, I put the link to the video and then I put the keyword that I want to rank for, right? All right, so now we're going to start out with keyword placement, and we're going to use a tool called Morning Fame because this is how I actually optimize all of my videos, all right? And I'll leave a link down below in the description for this if you want to check it out. All right, so now let's go to the first thing. So the first thing says, is your primary keyword in your title? So let's go ahead and make sure that our keyword is in our title. So you can see right here, it says how to find hashtags for YouTube videos. There's my keyword in my title, step number 1. Now let's go to the next thing. It says, is your primary keyword in your description a minimum of 3 times? Notice that I put pass, right? So you can either put pass or you can put fail. So let's go back. So is it in there 3 times? And the way I like to do this is I always turn this on where it says highlight tags. So you can see right here, boom, there's my keyword right there. There's my keyword right there. And then there's my keyword right there. All right, so boom, we got that. Now the next thing, it says, are there variations of your primary keyword in your description? So what are they talking about? So you can see down here, we got all of these highlights under our tags, right? So we got some that are yellow and then some that are white. What Morning Fame does is it allows you to use every single part of your tag inside of your description. And what am I talking about? So you can see right here, we got the underlines, right? So YouTube videos, that's a part of it. For YouTube, we got shorts, the ones that aren't yellow. That's what they're talking about. They're including every part of my tag. And this is what that pretty much entails. So we got all of these words are inside of my description somehow, but they're not stuffed in there where basically you just try to put this whole keyword in one sentence. It's not like that, right? That would be considered keyword stuffing if you were actually doing that. All right, so now let's go back to the checklist. So we got that, so we're good to go. Are the keywords you're using relevant to the primary keyword, right? You can see I got past, so what are they talking about? So all of these keywords are dealing with hashtags. So let's look at a few. So it says how to find best hashtags for YouTube, how to find hashtags for YouTube, how to find hashtags on YouTube. So they all have the main keyword in there somewhat, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want to have like, let's just throw some random thing. Let's say how to start a new garden. Well, obviously we're not talking about gardening, right? So that wouldn't be relevant. And I know there's some people that try to put certain keywords that don't have anything to do with what they're talking about in their video, and that does not benefit you at all. All right, so you want to make sure that all of the keywords that are in there are extremely relevant. All right, so let's go back to the checklist. All right, so right here it says, is your keyword in the first 50 to 75 words? Well, the way that I like to do my descriptions is in the first line. All right, so if you see right here, here's my description. The top of it, I just put my title in there. So immediately, that's how you just make it easy, right? You put your title in up at the top, and then boom, your keyword is in your first 50 to 75 words. All right, so now let's go to the next one. So this is where we get into voice optimization, and we're gonna go into the YouTube studio to make sure that we're doing that. So you can see right here, it says, did you say your primary keyword within the first 5 to 10 seconds? So you wanna say it up front so YouTube immediately knows what the video is about because they're tracking the voice, all right? So let's go into the video details. So this is the video right here, and what I do to get there is I go right here to subtitles. Now, when I go to subtitles, as you can see, it says English automatic captions. So what I do is I click on the pencil and then I click edit timings. Now what we're doing here, let's go ahead and make sure that we're reading. It says, did I say it within the first 5 to 10 seconds? So let's go ahead and check. If you're struggling to come up with the best hashtags for YouTube videos, then you landed on the right video. So immediately I made sure that I said something that is in relation to what I'm talking about in the video within the first 5 to 10 seconds. That's how you check that one off, all right? Now the next one is, have you added subtitles or closed captions to your video? Well, the good thing about this is YouTube automatically does it, but there's another step, which is the next step on the checklist. So are subtitles accurately synchronized with the audio content? So are the things that you're saying in here what you're actually saying, right? Because you don't want to be saying your keyword, but then it picks up that you said something completely different, right? And this leads me to the next thing. You want to make sure that, let's say for instance, it didn't say hashtags, it said something completely different and it messed it up. Well, I want to make sure that it's actually saying that. So what would I do? I would come in here and I would make the edit, right? And just make sure that it says what I want it to say. And you mostly want to do this when you saying your keywords, so that way they can know exactly what it is that you're talking about. All right, so let's go back to the checklist. All right, so have you incorporated relevant keywords naturally into your subtitles? So that's pretty much what I was saying, right? As you can tell, I've probably done this a whole bunch of times. All right, so now video embedding. Have you embedded your video onto your own blog post? If you don't have your own blog, I've created a video on this channel that shows you how to do it literally from start to end, right? And then after that, you can go ahead and you can watch the other video that I created that shows you how to actually create blog posts just by using your videos, all right? It's pretty cool. All right, so now, this is what I want you to pay attention to now. So notice we got pass, all the way down to where it says fail, okay? So I want you to pay attention to that because there's some things that you don't even have to do sometimes and you can still rank, right? As long as you're doing at least 80 to 90% of it right, a lot of times you can still rank number one. All right, so now it says that I failed when it came to embedding my video onto relevant blog posts, right? So other people that are in the industry that are in relation, right? So let me actually show you my blog, right? So this one right here is actually my blog, and the video that we were talking about is the hashtag video, right? So what we want to do, let's just type hashtag right here and let's hit enter. All right, so boom, we got our hashtag video. So this is actually a blog post. So if I actually hit view, you can see, boom, here's my blog post, and then it has my video embedded in there, right? And I'll show you how to do this on this channel. So you definitely, if you want to do this, so you can actually start ranking your stuff not only on YouTube, but actually on Google. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I come over here to Google real quick, and then I type how to find hashtags for, I'm gonna just put YouTube. All right, so boom, so this auto populates, right? So if I click on this, remember we're in incognito browser, so that means that these are accurate rankings. If I come over here, you can see, boom, there's my regular video. video, and then also you can see there's my YouTube short ranking as well. So this strategy doesn't just work for regular YouTube videos, it works to actually get your YouTube shorts ranking as well on YouTube and Google. Super powerful stuff, all right? All right, so let's go back to the checklist. So as you can see, I did all of that for this particular video to rank. So I didn't even have to do this, but imagine if I did do this. All right, so let me show you another one. So this next one is the Descript video. So the Descript video, we already know the steps of what we have to go through, but I just want to show you that in this particular one, I did not use my main keyword 3 times. All right, so let me actually show you what I'm talking about. So if I come over here, let me go to the bottom here, and I'm gonna type Descript in. Okay, so when I hit Descript, it should be right here. I think this one is it. All right, so yeah, this one is it right here, right? So if we look at the description on this one, you can see I got my keyword once and then I got my keyword twice. That's it. I don't even have it 3 times. And as you can see, it's still ranking #1. All right, so if we go back over here, I failed at that. And then of course I failed at the relevant blogs and articles, but I do have a blog post. So if I come over here and I type Descript on my blog, all right, if I come over here, it should be somewhere along the line. All right, so here it is right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And boom, the same formula every time. So I got my introduction and then boom, I got my video embedded, right? So it gives me a better shot of not just showing up on YouTube, but also on Google. Okay, so as you can see, the steps are fairly simple to go through, right? I just want to create this video so you can know exactly what you need to do, because I get some people in the comments asking me like, man, how do you get your stuff to like really move up in the rankings, right? And these are the steps that I take every single time so that I can ensure that I'm ranking #1, because if you're watching this and you're a business owner, then 9 times out of 10, you want to get traffic to your website, right? Which means that in order to get traffic to your website, you got to position yourself up at the top so people can find you. And then once they find you and you're providing them some value, then that's when that leads to more conversion. All right, so hopefully you got some value from this video. And if you did, definitely go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also, drop me a comment down below if you have any additional questions. And if you want to get access to the checklist, go ahead and click that first link down below in the description. It'll actually be sent directly over to your email. So just make sure that you're putting the right email in, so that way you don't miss out on getting your videos ranked on the first page of YouTube. See you in the next video. Peace.